What's going on, everybody? This is LB the Realist with Surrealistic Studios, Surreal News, where the real is surreal. Thank you for joining me on another segment today. Go ahead and hit that like button for me so we can increase the traffic to this channel and hit the YouTube God's algorithm so they can bless us. Go ahead and comment when I'm done. Share this video so I can get the word out and so I can build my subs up. And subscribe if you haven't before. You know, most of you are not subscribed. That's what YouTube is telling me. YouTube is also telling me that most of you guys are males and only have 1.2% females that watch me. Okay, anyways, so Kyle Kulinski of Secular Talk just released the latest video to his channel in which he talks about the whole Jimmy Dore, Aaron Matei, TYT issue. And he titles it, "What Jimmy Dore and Aaron Matei Got Right and Wrong in Criticizing Me." And it's a pretty lengthy video. It's 55 minutes and 27 seconds long. Okay, so it's pretty long. I'm pretty sure you guys have already viewed it. If not, I'm pretty sure you will. I'm not gonna play the whole thing here because that would be way too long, and I'm just not gonna get into all of that. You know, it would just be a lot of me just sitting around listening and then responding every so often. Like I just don't know if I want to do that. So, but we'll hit a few key points. I did write down a few key points that I wanted to get into, and as you probably already saw from the title, Kyle Kulinski apologizes and admits being wrong, still misses the whole point. Just lets it go ahead, just right over the head. He misses the whole point, and I'm gonna get into that. So first of all, he apologizes for not contacting Jimmy Dore sooner about being on Crystal, Kyle, and Friends. So they had this arrangement in which they set a date for Jimmy Dore to be on Crystal, Kyle, and Friends. There was no communication made after that. To my knowledge, there was no communication made after them setting the date for the show. The day comes for Jimmy Dore to be on the show, and he contacts them to say, "Hey, am I still doing a show? What's going on? What are the deets?" 2 hours rolls by. Jimmy Dore doesn't receive a response immediately. 2 hours goes by, and I guess Kyle Kulinski texts Jimmy and says, "Look, we don't want you on the show. We think what you're doing, whatever's going on between you and TYT is messy. We don't want to be in the mess in the middle of it. We hope you understand, but we don't want you on the show." So Jimmy Dore says that Kyle Kulinski ghosted him, basically didn't let him know that they never wanted him on the show. And Kyle admits that they had been stewing on that idea for a while, and it got to the day, and then they decided to tell him that they didn't want him on the show. They could have let him know sooner, a lot sooner, and I think we're all in agreement that Kyle Kulinski dropped the ball on that part. So he apologized for not contacting Jimmy Dore sooner about being on the show. That's one of the things that he admitted guilt about. Another thing that he apologized for, in which he completely missed the point still, is the not calling out of the blackmail that Anna Kasparian of TYT did against Jimmy Dore. He never once mentioned it. Never mentioned blackmail. Not male, not black, not male, not blackmail. Never once mentioned it, as if it wasn't even an issue, like it was a non-issue. Just like he failed to mention at first the smearing of award-winning journalist Aaron Matei. Just like that. So he stayed silent on that. Well, he didn't exactly stay silent. He said in his own video that when he read that criticism, or when he heard that criticism of Aaron Matei, that he laughed. It was worthy of a chuckle, but it wasn't worthy of him covering. It wasn't worthy of him calling out. Why? Because he thought that it was obvious to people how he felt, and he didn't want to get in the middle of a so-called mess. And what people are trying to describe as Jimmy Dore mess or Jimmy Dore drama, no, it's not Jimmy Dore drama, it's TYT drama. All right, so he apologized for not calling that out, the blackmail, but still misses the whole point. She blackmailed Jimmy Dore in order to shut him up about the OPCW cover-up. They're mad at Jimmy Dore's truth-telling. The biggest progressive or lefty news show, 5 whatever million subscribers, and he doesn't feel as though it's pertinent to call out because he's affiliated with these people. So I think Kyle needs to really come to grips with himself, have a self-realization, and really cut ties with TYT, man, because it's not looking good for him. It's not looking good. This video that Kyle did, as I'm looking at it now, it has 80,864 views. as of today, July 4th. By the way, happy Independence Day. Happy 4th of July, by the way, folks. Stay safe out there, all right? So he got a grip of views off this video, right? He's got 6.8 thousand likes on this video and 4.7 thousand dislikes. That is incredible. There's the amount of people that disagree with Kyle's handling of this situation is incredible. Kyle has a lot of support, but Jimmy Dore has a lot more as far as this situation goes. So I want to continue here. He apologized about not contacting Jimmy Dore sooner. He apologized about not calling out the blackmail. And in his last segment, he apologized about, I believe he apologized about the Aaron Matei smears, about not calling it out because he thought it was obvious. But it's not obvious. You got to call these things out, bro. So he defends going on Hassan Piker's show. And he doesn't see the issue or the conflict of interest between the whole situation that's unfolding between Jimmy Dore, Aaron Matei, TYT, and you going on Cenk Uyghur's relative's channel, his nephew, I believe, or something like that. You didn't think there was anything wrong with that, or maybe there wasn't anything wrong with that, but the optics of it sure don't look good. You admit that you recognize that optics of things don't look good, such as the when you said in your segment that the optics of the Young Turks taking that money, the $20 million from Katzenberg, the optics of it don't look good. It does not look good for an organization to be fundraising, trying to do fundraising from the grassroots, taking people's hard-earned money, and then also accepting $20 million from this dude Katzenberg, who knows why he invested $20 million or what thing he's trying to influence TYT to do, which Kyle says that he doesn't believe that they're influenced by that. In which, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, to me in itself is hypocritical because his friends aren't influenced by any large sums of money, but everyone else is. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't see the conflict of interest with going on Hassan Piker's show, the relative of the person that Jimmy Dore is going against right now. And you're not, you know, it seems as though they have some kind of communication, but not enough communication. Why aren't these people contacting each other more? Text. Why aren't they texting this out at least, or calling each other? Talk it out. Why? I don't understand the segments back and forth, the long segments back and forth, and the rebuttaling on the public forum. Like, I mean, I understand that some things need to be called out publicly for sure, but a lot of this is a lot of hurt feelings, and I feel as though a lot of it could be solved with just a little bit more communication and understanding. That's all. So another point I want to bring up is Kyle actually makes excuses for the Young Turks and their behavior, their egregious disparaging of women, them, you know, having camel toe segments and putting naked photos of women on their website, and just in the name of entertainment, in the name of being raunchy or trying to be the next Howard Stern show. Kyle Kulinski says he loved that about TYT. He loved that about that was when he loved them the most. Which, you know, it's raunchy, a little more raunchier than I would like, but, you know, whatever. But to say that, and then to say that Jimmy Dore's comment against Anna Kasparian's, well, not the new skirt comment, but to say that what she was wearing was inappropriate, that's what Kyle Kulinski is up in arms about. That's the 10% that he disagrees with Jimmy on. The 10%, because 90% of the time he says from his own account that he agrees with Jimmy Dore. But the 10% of the time is that one time Jimmy Dore said that Anna Kasparian's skirt was inappropriate. He said that in itself was pearl clutching. I'm sorry. He said that in itself was pearl clutching. The fact that Jimmy Dore thought that the skirt was inappropriate. Jimmy Dore's inappropriate comment was just that. It was just a comment that about somebody who was dressed the way that he thought that, hey, you know, even he admits that he doesn't have a problem with it, but if you're going to dress that way at work, I mean, it's kind of risque, you know, like he was trying to let her know in a polite way, hey, you know, you're showing a lot there, Anna, just FYI. And he said, nice new skirt. And when Anna tried to weaponize that moment and come against Jimmy and go against Jimmy Dore got out in front of the situation and defended himself. And in defense of himself, he said that Anna Kasparian, her skirt was inappropriate. I don't see anything wrong with that. People have opinions on appropriate and inappropriate attire all the time. To say that Jimmy Dore's comment was, some kind of Republican talking point or comment or right wing, that's ridiculous. Because you know that you don't think that Jimmy Dore is a right winger or a grifter. You know these things, so you still make these comments in response to it. It's crazy. It's crazy that the 10% that you disagree with him about is enough to overshadow the bigger story and the bigger point here, and that's that Anna Kasparian tried to blackmail Jimmy Dore to shut him up over the OPCW cover-ups and all of his going against them about Russiagate, and all. They're just mad that they can't debate the facts. So this is what they resort to. The organization that Kyle Kulinski is still affiliated with. So it's amazing to me that he doesn't see the conflict of interest between that, with that whole situation. So he makes excuses for TYT's behavior. He makes excuses and defends going on Hassan Piker's show and thinks nothing of it. But we all know what happens when you think nothing of it. When you try to stay neutral on matters that don't require you to stay neutral, that are pretty black and white, it tends to blow up in your face. And that's exactly what we're seeing happening right now. We're seeing it happen right before our own eyes. And Kyle Kulinski, to his credit, to be fair, he came out and apologized for a lot of these things. Now, why he waited so long to talk about it? It's inexcusable. You have a duty to talk about the policies, like you said. But you also have a duty to call out what's right and what's wrong. You do it in other instances, but in regards to when it's people that's where you shy away, and that's where you turn back into an introvert and you just want to stay completely out of it. That's not what somebody with integrity or bravery does. So check yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? You even said yourself that you were wrong. So I hope you take this information and you run with it, man, and you make better choices. Separate yourself from TYT. Realize when you're being hypocritical about these issues. And don't leave your friends out to dry, man, when they're being smeared. If you have a problem with people not coming out in defense of you, then you should have said something. And he says that it doesn't bother him, but he keeps bringing it up. And it is my opinion that you absolutely should come out in defense of people are not grifters. And when there's clear evidence to prove that, you know what I'm saying? And when people that do the actual work are being smeared, you know what I'm saying? You absolutely have a duty to go out and call that out. Especially when the people that are being smeared are affiliates of yours, close affiliates. Because then that makes you look bad. The optics of it look bad. So another point I wanted to bring up, and this is the last of my points, and then I'll play a little bit of what Kyle Kulinski said at the end of his video, and maybe do a little bit more commenting on that. Kyle didn't want to ask the tough questions, and his main criticism of Jimmy Dore was the inappropriate comment that Jimmy Dore made of when he was slut-shaming Anna. So the whole reason they didn't have Jimmy Dore on the show is because he didn't want to have to ask the tough questions. He felt that uncomfortable, and he felt as though Jimmy Dore would yell at him, or he was scared of Jimmy Dore's response, or whatever the case may be. Instead of just asking the tough questions and being real, Kyle chose to basically make the wrong decision and let this whole thing blow up in his face. I hope you learn from this, Kyle. I hope you really do. These kind of things are important. It's important for you to call these things out. It's important for your image. So I'll go ahead and play the first clip here at 46 minutes and 22 seconds. This is what Kyle has to say. And again, the fact that Kyle Kulinski, the bulk of his rage, to the point where he wanted to fight somebody or fight Jimmy Dore because of Jimmy Dore's comments, if somebody were to talk about a female relative of his or acquaintance of his, he would want to fight them. That was the bulk of his rage, the slut shaming by Jimmy Dore. Not the fact that his friend was blackmailing his other friend. Not the fact that an award-winning journalist, Aaron Matei, was being McCarthyite smeared. Not the fact that TYT, totally dismissed the OPCW cover-ups, with the Russiagating and the forced to vote. None of that bothers him. But it's the 10% that he says that he disagrees with Jimmy Dore, the 10% is enough for him to want to fight. And that overshadowed the whole situation. And that's what you're missing, Kyle. That's what you missed. That was the whole point. And you let it distract you. So we'll go ahead and play his words here.
At the beginning of the segment, when I say you're not a sex pest, you're not a criminal, this isn't a Me Too thing, it's, well, thank you for admitting that, I appreciate it. But then when I have a criticism of you, it's, you know, oh, I'm being misleading on purpose. Or when I left something out, oh, you're leaving that out on purpose. I mean, I don't understand why you continue to oscillate back and forth between I'm honest, I'm dishonest, I'm honest, I'm dishonest. I can assure you everything I'm saying is coming from an honest place, whether or not you agree with it, which gets to my final point on it, which is, listen, man, I agree with you. They weaponize this against you. They try to muzzle you. That's totally unacceptable. I also think that when you were swatting aside the allegations, even though it's a tough situation, even though it's unfair you were even in that position and had to do that, you did overreach, you did go too far, you did slut shame because you said she was dressing inappropriately.
That was too far. So first, the first part that was too far was nice new skirt. And then, but no, he goes even further than that, folks. He goes ballistic. He says, you know what he said? He said, Anna's skirt was inappropriate. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Folks, this isn't pearl clutching. This is what Kyle Kulinski's most focused on. Not the cover-ups, not the smearing of Aaron Matei, not the blackmail. This.
You said everybody could see your ass and all that stuff. Sorry. And I do think that if you watched Pat Robertson or Bill O'Reilly make a comment like that, you would criticize it. Rightfully so. Because it's worthy of criticism. And that's, by the way, my only criticism of you here. But, you know, it's, you're making it seem like that's absurd. And it's not absurd.
So, if Kyle's gonna clutch his pearls...
And we'll go ahead and play his last words here, the very last of the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video again if you like. Share it if you feel as though it's shareable. And subscribe if you haven't before. A lot of you aren't subscribed. Go ahead and hit that sub button. Hit that little bell so you get notified when I do videos, because we all know how YouTube gets. You know what I'm saying? If you want to support the show, hit the links in the description. It all helps out. You know, and I'll never be the type of person that goes out here and begs for money. You know what I'm saying? But if you feel as though you want to support, there is the option to do so. Other than that, folks, love, peace, and light. I'm going to go ahead and play the rest of this, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next video. All right?
He got a pretty resounding message from them as well.
The mistakes that I will own up to, and I already did in this segment, number one, not stopping and making a very clear point about how they did threaten you with that tweet, and they were effectively trying to muzzle you. And that's wrong. And they shouldn't have done that, and I should have called that out immediately. Yes. I apologize for not doing it. Yes. I'm doing it right this second. Because it was gross.
It was gross. He said it was gross. But he waited so long to call it out. And I don't know what's going on. My phone, my computer just froze up here. So let me see if I can try to restart this here.
I should have called that out immediately. I apologize for not doing it. I'm doing it right this second. Because it was gross. What they did was gross. And I also apologize for not letting Jimmy know earlier about canceling Crystal, Kyle, and Friends. Those are things that I definitely have regrets for. What I'll say on your end, though, is for the love of God, please stop trying to read between the lines in my statements and my actions. Anybody who's followed this show for a long time, and, you know, I honestly thought Jimmy definitely would know this at this late date. Everything is face value.
There he goes again.
Everything about me is face value.
He thinks that we automatically know
I say what
things.
I believe. And I mean what I say. And so there's no reason to, like, read the tea leaves or try to interpret why I'm doing X, Y, or Z. If I'll tell you why I'm doing X, Y, or Z. So when I say I want to stay out, that means I want to stay out. Not I'm, like, you know, boosting the narrative of the opposition or whatever.
No, you just want to protect yourself and your image. But your image is imploding by doing the thing that you thought was gonna implode your image, by not doing it, basically. Like, so it's having the opposite effect here.
So listen, I also want to say I'm not trying to belittle you guys. I agree 85 or 90% with you, but on the areas where I disagree, I'm going to talk about it. So, listen, final thing I'll say is, I hope this cleared some stuff up. I hope that you realize that my criticisms in return are also coming from a completely genuine place, and I hope you understand my motivations more after this segment.
So there it goes. He hopes that we understand, or that Jimmy understands his motivations more. And if you believe that Kyle Kulinski is telling the truth, you know, that's fine. You know, a lot of people think that Kyle Kulinski has been compromised. I actually did a video, my previous video right before this one is, has Kyle Kulinski been compromised? Or is he just hypocritical? You know, and these are the important questions to ask. A lot of people think that he has been totally compromised. Like, he's not trustworthy on things, especially his, you know, about his coverage about the squad, and how one important thing that I've always said in my videos, and I've been doing videos for like 4 or 5 years now, so check them out in the description. Give me the likes, give me the clicks. It all helps out. But I always said that Kyle makes excuses for politicians. He makes excuses for TYT. All he ever does is makes excuses for people on why they made the choice that they made. And we're supposed to judge people based on their actions, not their words. So we're looking at their actions and we're judging. You know what I'm saying? But he makes excuses as if they don't know what they're doing. But your actions dictate who you are as a person. So they're showing us who they are, and Kyle doesn't want to believe it. You know, so that's my main criticism with Kyle, other than he just totally missed this whole point about the 10% that you're mad about is the 10% of the equation that's the most troublesome, that's the most damning. And you're not looking at it from that perspective. You're looking at it like, oh, Jimmy Dore is slut-shaming Anna. Oh my God, stop the presses for Anna Kasparian. She's such a victim. But you're not even acknowledging what's going on in Jimmy Dore. And the other stuff, you feel as though it's all obvious and we're just supposed to know. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And Kyle, I hope Kyle gets it together. He needs to separate himself from TYT. He needs to keep owning up to his BS. And he needs to really come to grips with what's most important. You know, reprioritize. Because there's a lot of backwards stuff that he's looking at. You know, the way he's looking at the situation is backwards. It's completely flipped on his head. And the fact that he doesn't see it is an issue. The fact that he's unwilling to call out his friends is an issue. You know, and he has one of the biggest shows, you know, on YouTube, you know, aside from TYT and Jimmy Dore and all these other people, you know, so his influence is large, it's very large. And so because it's so large, I feel as though he has an obligation to call these things out. If you know Aaron Matei is not a Russian asset, call it out. If you know Jimmy Dore is not a rapist or a sexual assault, you know, whatever, call it out. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're talking about. These are things that we're asking of you. Please, Kyle, get it together. Get it together, Kyle. It's not looking good for you, man. It's not looking good. You're one of the first people that made me start doing videos, and I appreciate you for it, man. And I will continue to appreciate you for it. But I'm gonna call it out when I see it. If it quacks like a duck, it's probably not a horse. Yeah. So let me know what you guys have to say in the comment section below. Like I said, like, share, comment, subscribe. Love, peace, and light, folks. Until next time, I'm out. Do something kind for somebody else.